Hi, Eldar. Thank you for taking the time today to talk to me about what you felt of STEMReader. So, first of all, can you introduce yourself and tell us about
Yep.
yourself?
My name is Eldar Alaskarov. I am a second year. I finished my second year in University of Southampton as in the course of Information Technology in Organizations, and now I'm currently an intern in the ECS.
Okay, and could you tell me a bit about why you sometimes find maths difficult and math symbols difficult in your studying?
So basically, even though lots of terms in math are international, let's say, so like sigma, p, and stuff like that, there is some stuff that is, changed from language to language, and the way you not only pronounce the numbers and symbols, the way you read them is different from language to language. So, for example, in England, you might say 1/3, but back home we say 1 divided by 3 always. So yeah, that's I think the main difficulty that's not only I think most international students face because the reading sequence is the main part.
So when you have an equation, do we read it in a different order as well?
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. I think the order is quite different from from English perspective.
And in your
Mhm.
course, what problems does that cause you and other students with English as a second
Um,
language?
Um, it's not a very big problems, but still like sometimes make a person a bit uncomfortable within the group. So in the class itself, when tutor is starting to give a lecture and you can't catch up with what he's saying, you need to ask your friends. You don't want to disturb them, but you need to like, what did he say or what did he reply? You ask a teacher to repeat his words again, or even if you don't, you might later on face a problem if you write down something wrong. Later on, it might become a problem for you. So it's not a big problem, but it may become a bigger one later on.
And does that do you have to do any presentations? Is it something that affects you when you're talking to your tutors?
Yep. So in both, I think in presentation and group work, it might affect as well in terms of if you're making a talk, people not may understand you from the first round, and they might ask you again, what did you mean by these words, or what do you want to say with that? And sometimes I often find it easier to write down rather than to explain myself, so I just take a pen and write down on the board that's what I meant and stuff
Okay.
like that. So it saves time.
So you can write it, but you can't communicate it verbally.
Yeah, it becomes sometimes. As I said, it's not my major problem, but it is like a bit uncomfortable
Okay.
sometimes.
And you've had a look at STEMReader, and we've asked, what are your feelings as a student, how you would use it and how you could see it benefiting others who are studying.
Yeah. After being a bit familiarizing with it, I start to look at it in two perspectives. From one side, from accessibility point of view, obviously it's very useful. But I just saw that from in terms of learning, it might be even more useful because for students like me, and it's like 20% of our university is international students. For all of them, it might be useful because it does actually give you it reads everything in sequence and provides you definitions of the variables, the symbols, and like it helps you to become an Englishman, let's say, a bit.
Okay, Elder. Well, that was really useful. Thank you for your time you spent looking at STEMReader and giving us your feedback.
Cool.